tell you little story.
Hello and welcome to Ctrl Alt WoW AprilPvd, the podcast about everything about retirement, virtual reality, and living life single, sober, and small. Today is Tuesday, May 26, 2026, and this is episode 867, VR is Life. I really feel that VR should be bigger than it is. I feel like I live in an alternate reality where I get to experience and enjoy things that are not the norm, but I want to share this with people and I want to start expressing more on this podcast because I don't understand how people aren't doing VR everywhere. I hear people talking about their headsets, whether it's Quest or Valve, or in some cases, the Apple Vision Pro, just sitting on a shelf gathering dust. I use my headset anywhere from 2 to 8 hours a day. But let's get into No Man's Sky, which is my main passion. I will be doing a video version of this, and I'll put the links in the show notes. And I hope this works out well. Bear with me, my first time doing this. Last episode, Gradnegus posed the question about what would happen if I took a new character off the planet in my Corvette. And I do want to take the time to thank Gradnegus. We will still be doing the Ctrl Alt WoW Final Fantasy XIV podcast, but I felt like VR seems to be my baby, and maybe we'll have him back on when he's playing some No Man's Sky, but he's got a lot on his plate with Final Fantasy XIV. So I did manage to spend a day experimenting with just that. So what I had to do, because I'm also multi-bossing with the flat screen, I was able to start the game with a new character on my Aprillian account. And then I had AprilPvd in actually, no, I think I did it backwards. I think I actually started Aprillian in VR, and then I had AprilPvd on flat screen come and get her and pick her up, because that way I could do the things I wanted to do with the character in VR. I'm much more comfortable on No Man's Sky in VR. So the first time I did it, I got her to the anomaly, and then because she was on flat screen, when I had first done it, I swapped it out and she ended up floating in space. She could summon her spaceship, which was funny because, she didn't go through any of the things to fix it. So if you do end up taking someone to the anomaly, they will get their spaceship fixed. But I wanted her in the anomaly because I wanted her to be able to claim some of the things that she could claim in at the Quicksilver vendor from the expedition. So when I did try the opposite, with Aprillian on a new save and in VR, and then AprilPvd picking her up on the flat screen, that did work. I did have one incident where I tried to move while I was on the Corvette in VR, and that got me into space. But then we tried again. I tried it again without moving the VR character, and I was able to get out of the anomaly, out of the Corvette in the anomaly. And then AprilPvd gave her some suspicious packets, and she was able to sell some at the space station. Oh yeah, that's what we did. We ended up going back to the space station, and we got we ended up being able to get the living Wrath ship. I guess if you can dual box and you have someone that can help you, you can skip the initial one. I know it's crazy because you can already do creative. But on Friday, I was having so much fun in No Man's Sky using the egg sequencer to get my mechanical pet traits to 100%. It's such a silly thing, but it's so relaxing. I compounded my situation by making that save have yet another mechanical pet. So basically, she has two of the mechanical expedition egg worms, and one is, well, both are the triple S. Remember last episode, I spent a ridiculous amount of time just re-rolling, restoring, and coming out until the pet that I got was triple S. And then I had it lay an egg, and then AprilPvd took that egg and made the traits up to 100%. The reason you want to do that is because when they're in battle and their traits are 100%, they have more of an opportunity to proc a special ability, so it makes the pet even stronger. So now I gave her one of the triple S with the 100% traits, but she still has the original pet without the 100% trait. And I thought, okay, why don't I just let both of them, they're on a 24-hour cycle for them to be able to lay an egg. And so I said, why don't I just let both of them have eggs, and then I can up the traits on the original pet, which seems simple, but they both have the same name and you can't change it. Other pets, when you change the name and they lay an egg, they then have the new name, whatever, of the parent whose name you've changed. But it was no way for me to tell the difference between the two pets, the one without the 100% and the one with the 100%. So I ended up spending a ridiculous amount of time at the egg sequencer, taking each pet that she had in storage or in her inventory, putting it in the egg sequencer and seeing which ones needed to be upgraded. And so what I'm going to do now is make sure that I don't get eggs from the one that's not 100% trait anymore. I'll just do the one that is. Part of me wants to release the original one, but I'm sentimental and I don't want to let it go. So the other thing I've been doing is trying to get up my pet battles to get the milestone for the whole arena, Hollow Arena quest line. Friday was also the day that I discovered my biggest mistake with pet battling. I had been jumping around to hatch eggs, and because I had been doing this, I wasn't going to do each system consistently. So here's a warning for you. If you're going to be doing the milestone, you need 220 of the Hollow Arena wins, and you need 60 of the champions wins. Now, the proper way to do it is to go to a system. When you go to a system when you first beat Oceanus, and you'll get a blue marker to go battle a Hollow Arena. Then after you defeat that champion or that Hollow Arena, you'll get another blue marker and then another. Once you get 3 blue markers in the same system, you then will get a yellow marker to beat a championship. Now, the blue markers are going to be at depots or archives, but the championship, the yellow ones, are always at the space station. So technically, if you do 3 Hollow Arena victories and then do the champions, by the time you get to 180 Hollow Arena victories, you will have made your 60 wins, because that's 3 times 60. But because I kept jumping around, and I would just activate the blue chips anywhere I was, and then I would I need to hatch an egg, and then I'd activate a chip, and then so I ended up actually getting the 220 wins before I got the 60 championship wins. And so then, and this is the kicker, you cannot get the yellow championship wins without doing 3 battles in a system. So basically, I ended up having to do more hollow arena battles than I needed to. Of course, if you do it the right way, you're still going to end up doing more hollow arena battles, then you don't have to do the championship ones. And the championship ones are harder. So what I was having to do was get out my top really high level team, my 30s, for the championships, and I was using the hollow arena ones to level up new eggs that I had just hatched. So then on Saturday, I went to store some more eggs on Aprillian. And it's getting to be crazy because I'm also storing on AprilPvd's second save. And this is the one that is just standing on the mech home world. And every 24 hours, I go in and have another one of those mechanical worms. I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of those triple class ones with the 100% traits. And she's just going to be my farmer. So what I've been doing is I would give eggs to Aprillian. Aprillian would give them to my second AprilPvd, going back and forth. And yeah, I kind of messed up with going back and forth without doing the championship battles. So now, AprilPvd, my second save, is now, I'm letting her hatch more of the eggs that the main AprilPvd has, in case I find, and I've been finding more eggs, more pets, more triple S pets. You're going to run out of space. There are more than 30 really good triple S pets. For instance, I found this really cool mechanical pet in the show notes. You go see in the show notes. Then I made the mistake of watching some YouTube video, and I found another pet that I wanted to have, but I didn't have any room, so I brought in Aprillian. I did the thing I always do, because Aprillian does not have the portals. And when you see these pets online or on a YouTube video, they come with a portal that you then have to put in the glyphs and then jump. I think Aprillian has 10 of the 16 ones. So it's just easier for me to get to the portal, get to the place, and then Aprillian joins me in game and gets the pets. And her roster isn't filled up yet. And then she can get an egg, and then I can take that egg and turn it into the 100% trait. So that's what I've been doing. I've got the 2 pets, the one that you're looking at now, if you're looking at the video, and the other one that's in the show notes. So then on Sunday, I only played a little bit on Sunday, but I still watched a few YouTube videos, and I posted on the Facebook group that I heard that 2.4 is going to allow us to create folders in the navigator. And that got me excited, because I hate having a disorganized system and nowhere to see the things I want to see. And I got this response from someone whose name is homophobe in the making. And he said, and I couldn't believe he said this. 2.4, that's not a version number for MetaQuest. Are you on drugs? To which I responded, no, I just follow current news. For the record, altering your brain chemistry for any reason except for medical is probably not a good idea. I'm sorry you had to phrase it like that. And then I put a link in the message to the different YouTubers who are talking about 2.4. I don't know why people respond to things, but I am still excited about this 2.4 update. It is currently just on the PTC. What it's going to mean is that I could now have folders for, say, games I want to play later. I can have one folder for all my fitness games. I can have one folder for, what I'm currently playing. I mean, just imagine the iPhone before you were able to make folders. It makes a big difference, and I'm excited for it to come to the mainstream. On Monday, I did a lot of pet battles, and I finally got my pet for the Hollow Arena, which was this giant worm. And then Tuesday, I wanted to jump to this planet to get a pet that I saw in the on the Facebook group, but the planet was one that I could not get to, and it was in a system I hadn't been to. So I naively thought that I could jump a few times and end up in this system, and I learned my lesson. Although it was interesting, and I did enjoy myself because I would go to a new system. I ended up stripping down a ship and stripping down my exosuit so that I wouldn't damage it. And then it's a very complicated process. First, you have to go to a portal at the furthest place you've been, and that's the Einstein system. I guess they're all connected, and they go in a certain order, which I was just finding out. And then you go to a portal on the system that's the furthest. Then you put in the first glyph 12 times, and that takes you somewhere. You get the warning that it's not a right coordinate. But then you go up into space and you jump for a while. So I was taking my freighter, because your freighter can make the biggest jumps. And then I would go up into it's a very complicated thing, but once you get the system down pat, it comes out pretty easily. So then I would go all the way to the closest you can get to the galactic. So you put the galactic core as your option, and then it would just take you further and further to the center, and then jump through the center. So I jumped from Einstein to Apt to Cabo to Ortonago. God, it was a lot of jumping. And I actually damaged a couple of ships because I didn't actually go back and summon the ship I needed to. I will go back and get that ship, because every system I jumped to, I would then put down a base, and then, oh wait, I'm leaving out the really complicated part. The complicated part is that once you jump to a new system, then you have to find a portal again. Now, I know you can use some of your equipment, and I know people that know more about this are laughing at me, but I would go to the space station and buy the navigational things, and then you have to find the right building that would tell you where to get to get a portal, and you'd have to rinse and repeat. It's very interesting. They make it very I felt like I was actually jumping galaxies, and I really enjoyed it. And I spent a lot of time, but I only got as far as Oteniago, and so I still have another ways to go to do the jumps. But I think I'm gonna wait a little bit and try some other things first. I want to finish my pet milestone. So the milestones were still weighing heavily on my mind. I had to still beat Oceanus. Now, Oceanus is really hard, but the thing about it is you had to beat him 30 times, and you could only challenge him once a day for the that would count towards the 30 total. Before I could go into Battle Oceanus, though, I had to make sure I could pick up an egg, because once I beat him, then I could claim an egg from him. And he's the same person that has the arena awards. So I went to somewhere where I knew I could, had a pet that could lay an egg. And I think I was full. And then I went to Aprillian and gave her one of my eggs. And then I went to battle Oceanus. And it was a hard battle. I ended up losing twice. And then I changed up my team. I was using a team that I had been using during the championship, and they won, but I had to bring out an even better team. And finally I did, and I got my wandering shrimp in a bubble pet. Then I took it over to the egg sequencer and spent some wonderful time updating its traits and getting them to 100%. And then finally I took it out and hatched it. And it was perfect. I loved it. It was so cute. The funniest thing was, though, I was streaming this on Twitch, and one of the guys following me on Twitch wanted to know how much effort I put into making this cute little guy. He said, I hope I didn't have to go through a lot of trouble. But I really liked it, period. And of course, after I hatched it and made sure it was at the right 100%, I created a save. Of course, it's triple S, and it is just the cutest thing. It's a shrimp in a tank, and it's mechanical, and I just love it so much. I can't wait to train it up and see what its hits are going to be. It's got 100% in helpfulness, 100% in aggression, and 100% in devotion. And it's just a little shrimp in a tank, and I love it. For the rest of the day, my goal was to try to get all 24 battles I needed to do to get the championship milestone out of the way. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I wanted to get these milestones out of the way so I could go in and check on my settlements. I haven't been to my settlements since this patch dropped, so I'm kind of excited because I know that they have tables in the settlement. But I ended up doing a lot of battles. I didn't get to finish it. I did do some battles in VR. The thing about VR battles is, even though, I mean, it's okay. You're standing there, you're watching. You can look around more than you can on the flat screen, but I just wish it was more immersive. So I ended up going back to the flat screen. But the problem with the flat screen is that I cannot fly very well. And I can't see if it's dark. At least when I'm in VR, I can kind of see the landing pads and I can find a better way. I can find it and just get over to it and land. But in flat screen, it's just chaotic. I'm crashing and everything. And then for my second round of battles on my second system for the day, I was on a highly toxic planet. And so I would log in on the flat screen because it takes longer on my MacBook Pro, and I would walk away and then come back. And at one point, I actually died and lost everything in my inventory, but I was able to go back to my restore point. It is kind of neat, though, that you can do both VR and flat screen for No Man's Sky, and I wish more games were as easy to go back and forth. All right. Thursday, I got right back into it and I battled and I battled, mostly in VR, and I managed to get through it and I got the championship. It was a lot of work, it was a lot of hard battles, a lot of crazy flying, but I fly so much better in VR. I really love the way the controls work, and I managed to get my pet. Of course, I had to take the egg to the egg sequencer, and again, I got it increased on its traits, and I hatched it, and it's a cute little mechanical thing. And so now I've got all of the rewards from the Hollow Arena pet battle system, and I'm very happy with it. This little thing is so cute. And of course, it's triple X and it has the 100% traits. And its traits are 100% in helpfulness, gentleness, and independence. And I am done with this pet battling. The only thing I got to do now is now I'm going to just hatch pets to share. Now we're going to talk about the Hollow Arena Award milestones. The first one was the corrupted quad egg for hatching 30 eggs. That was the easiest one to get. And then we have the Boundary Horror Egg. The pet is so tiny because I put chromatic metal in to change the color, and it just made it tiny. But it is still cute and powerful. Then we have the Genochrome egg, which is a big giant worm, which I have been able to get eggs from, so that's kind of neat. And that was for 30 Oceanus wins. And then we have the Wandering Shrimp Tank eggs for 220 Hollow Arena victories. And it's so cute, the little shrimp inside the egg, inside the little mechanical thing. And then finally, there was the Aaron Crab egg for 60 champions defeated, and it looks like a little crab or thing caught in a mechanical body, and it's cute. And they're all triple S and all very powerful. And of course, the big worm is the only one I've been able to hatch an egg from or get an egg from. And now I want to show you my mechanical worm because that's the one I'm most proud of for getting the triple S. And all of these pets from the Halloween Arena Awards are
I am
triple
getting ready
S.
to jump.
This is always kind of nerve-wracking. And I've been doing this wrong. And so now we're getting ready to warp. Yesterday, on Saturday, I decided to look up the actual list of galaxies. And if you look at the show notes, and I'll put something on the screen right now. of the actual list, and I made the mistake of going to Eisentam, which was my furthest out galaxy. Why didn't I just Google it? I don't know why I didn't just look it up. But I want to get to Kiko Galra, which is where I can find the dragon that I want to capture. But apparently I jumped over it. I actually went 2 stops further from that one. It's galaxy number 8. I was in galaxy number 10, and then I went to 11, 12, 13, and 14. And if I had just started from Hilbert and got to Calypso, which is where I am jumping from it right now, then I would have already been at, which Calypso was 3, and the one I want to go to is 8. The thing I did was I went to the portal at the anomaly, and that's how I got to Eisentam. It's interesting. It's exciting. They made a really good system in No Man's Sky with all these different galaxies. But now I should be getting into Hesperius. Now, all of this involves me equipping a ship that I don't care about breaking, and a multi-tool I don't care about breaking. And now I am in Hesperius dimension. And now I'm going to land on a planet. And from there, I'm going to take a bunch of steps to find another portal, and then start the whole jump all over again. But at the same time, we got some good news yesterday. Sean Murray posted on X and on Threads a bee emoji. So that means that some update is coming soon. The biggest sign will be when the game goes on sale on Steam. So now we are jumping into a new, did you hear that? We're jumping into a new planet. And technically what I should do is go find my ship and then repair it. But I can just summon my other ship and change my multi-tool to the one that I want to use. I accidentally kept my good multi-tool equipped the last time I jumped, and I ended up having to repair it. One thing I did learn is that if I took everything out of my exosuit, and I learned that if I put some things in the supercharged slots, the tech in the supercharged slots on your exosuit do not get damaged when you do the jump. So that's nice to know. All right, so now I am on initializing my suit. They do this so well. Every time you jump, you get this whole thing where they initialize your suit. And now I am in the Hesperius dimension. And now I need to do a few things before I can get ready to go to the next system. Closest to the center, using the portal, using the first glyph 12 times. And now I'm going to do the jump. And I'm doing this on the flat screen. I may go back to doing it on the in VR in a second, but right now I'm just trying this. I've never done this part on the flat screen. Okay, so we go as far as we can, and we get the animation. Now I'm jumping to the next one, which should be Hyades, Hyades, and it's system galaxy number 5, which means I would then only have 3 more jumps to get to the one that I'm calling Kiko that I want to get to. On the flat screen, it's really different. I have been watching videos about what they anticipate the bees are. Someone posted that there are now 3 bees, so that should be interesting. I'm hoping it'll be something to do with multiplayer. And I did set up a portal at the last spot I jumped. You always want to set up a base in every galaxy you end up at. And now we're here. And we've jumped. And now I'm going to jump again. The sound of my frigates popping in is always interesting. So I'm now at I seem to be getting further away from the galaxy. Okay, now here we go. 4, 5, 4, 4. And I'll be back when I get to the center. Do a jump. The first thing I have to do is put some fuel, just a little bit of fuel, top off the fuel in the freighter before I can do the jump. No matter what you're in, it needs to be at 100% for the jump. And now I am going to the core, and I think I had this problem before. Here we go. And now we're jumping. Technically, I should be jumping to... I'm in Hesperus dimension, and I should be jumping to Hyades. Hyades. So what I'm planning to do after I finish all these jumps, I don't know if I will share them all with you, but I'm planning to get back to my settlements and see what's going on there. I will see you on the other side. Now we're up to Sunday. Creature AprilPvd, that's my second AprilPvd character that I'm using just to make the mechanical egg, has been hatching one every day. And I'm also using her to store some of the pets, so she will actually crack open an egg and then have the pet, and if I need or want that pet back again, I can go to bring her somewhere where that pet can then hatch an egg. I have had to delete some of my pets on AprilPvd to get some more pets because I'm obsessed with Triple S pets. So I've made the jump to Hesperus dimension, and I did that on the flat screen. But then I only did it on the flat screen because at the time I was watching some YouTube videos, but I can't sit for that long. So now I'm back on VR, and what I've been doing now, instead of going to the space station and buying the planetary charts, I finally wised up, and I've been taking out my Colossus and then scanning for alien structure after each jump, finding the portal, and then making a base near that portal. And the other thing that I've been doing is I've also been making a restore point, Because when you find the alien structure, you do have to answer some questions, and if you answer them wrong, they won't give you the link to the portal. But if you figure out what they were asking and then go back to the restore point if you answer wrong, and then you can get the option of answering it right. And it makes it so much quicker. Before this, I was just cracking open another planetary chart or scanning in the Colossus for another alien structure. I finally did it. I made the jump to Kiko, but I did not find the 3S dragon. I found a bunch of dragons, and I also found a message thing that said the dragon was there, but I didn't find it. But it's okay. But I did find a triple S pet, so that was nice. Now that I've gotten done with the whole Hollow Arena milestones, I made it back to my settlements, and they had a bunch of resources for me, some that I really needed, like fuel for my freighter, which I went through some doing those jumps, and antilydium and some living glass. So it was really good to stop there and get some of that stuff. Of course, they were all under attack. The one was under attack with the horrors, those little green things that come out when you click on the whispering eggs, and then two of them were under attack with the brood mother, and you have to kill her. I always like using my javelin gun, but it takes a lot of work. Oh, and I did get to open some buildings, so that was good. But I loved going back to my settlements. I did not find any of the. I thought there would be some of the Hollow Arena tables in my settlement, but I have to figure out which ones are the actual ones that have the tables. I guess you have to find the building that have the tables in it. But so I spent a lot of time fighting these guys in all three settlements, and then of course in my autophage settlement, which is in a high sentinel area, I also got bombarded after I killed the brood mother. I got bombarded with sentinels, and I ended up just hopping out of there. But it was good to be back in my settlements, and while I really enjoyed the Hollow Arena milestones quest line, this was nice too. Although I am going to go back and do some battling because I want to see how some of these pets, the new pets that I got, work in the arena. I thought I found another glyph on the Facebook page for the dragon, and I think people are pretending that these other animals that aren't tameable are these dragons that they're talking about. Because I went out to the planet, scanned all I did the portal jump using their glyphs, scanned all the fauna on that planet, and could not find the dragon one. It's okay. I have more than enough pets. But I did get the the 2000 nanites for scanning all the fauna. I even did the underground one. So I decided to go ahead and hatch some eggs. This is all Monday night. Hatch a couple of more eggs. I can hatch the giant worm that I got from defeating Oceanist, and I can hatch one other animal. I can hatch the Aaron crab egg from, oh, not the Aaron crab egg, because that's waterbound. I can't find the waterbound planet yet, but I can hatch the wandering shrimp tank eggs. Or I can get an egg from them. I haven't hatched them yet, but I get an egg from them because there are planets that I can hatch them on. Some of the things you get from the Hollow Arena awards you cannot hatch, but these two I can. So that's kind of fun that I can at least share those eggs. I think I'll only share them with my other characters as opposed to just giving them out to people who haven't completed all the milestone. I did take each one of those eggs up to 100% in their traits. So that was good. And so that was fun. I'm having a good time in No Man's Sky, and I am really excited about what's coming up because we did get the triple B, which means we got another tweet slash threads thing from Sean Murray, which means that there's going to be something else coming up. And I mean, something coming up soon. And the Steam went on sale, and that's the big thing. Once it goes on sale, No Man's Sky has gone on sale on Steam. That means that something's definitely coming. We don't know how big it is. I've been watching all the YouTube videos about it, and it might be an expedition, which I'm hoping for because I love the expedition. But there is definitely an update coming tomorrow. So that's been my No Man's Sky adventure. And now we're going to go on to what else I've been doing in VR. Now I want to talk about working out in VR. I work out every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. I spend an hour and 40 minutes working out in VR in my own home with personal trainers. I know a part of the barrier to working out in VR is wearing a headset, and it has become second nature for me. I'm very lucky for that. Yes, I do sweat a lot with the headset. I have had to experiment with different head straps which hold the Quest headset. So the main part of the VR is the Quest 3 that I use, but the other part is the head straps, and I've been experimenting with multiple ones. I've gone through three head straps. My initial one was the one I was using with the Bobo headset, which I used for years. It has an extra battery pack that I could charge, so I never ran out of batteries. But they had these two antennas on the top that were pressing into my head. And they actually left bald spots. I know that's so crazy. So I switched over to a version that they call the Halo style that didn't have the antenna. And that worked really well and it was comfortable, but it only came with one battery, which meant that I could not, it would run out after like 2 hours, and it didn't allow you to buy additional batteries. I did try another upgraded version of the Bobo VR head strap, which had the ability to remove the antenna, but it came with a fan and it was heavier. So I ended up switching to yet a third one. And this is the one I'm wearing now. It works out fine. It's lighter and it's more comfortable, and it doesn't press on my head at all. Now, because I sweat, I use this thing called a VR cover. It's a piece of cloth that goes over the initial facial interface, and it absorbs sweat. It comes in a pack of 2, so I have a clean one to change out when I wash the sweaty one. Okay, so I use 3 apps for my workout. The first one is FitXR, and this gentleman named Billy D gets me through a warm up and then an HIIT class, high intensity interval training, which it's kind of done to, you do that first so that it gets your metabolism running really fast. And then I switch over to light sport. Now, this one, the light sport one, is mixed reality, and I really like it. But the thing I love more about the Fit XR one is that it allows me to turn off the music. Light Sport does not allow me to do that. But I go through a weight training, a boxing, and then 2 more weight trainings. And the nicest thing about Light Sport too is because it's mixed reality, it does it in such a way that it takes out everything around it, so I'm just with the trainer, and I can I have a mirror in my apartment. Now, if you look at the show notes, if you're listening to the podcast on audio, you can go to the show notes and you'll see screenshots of me standing in front of the mirror with the trainer in front of me. The boxing is really nice because it gives me a little bit of a haptic feedback when I hit it. And the weight training is great because I can see my form and make sure it aligns with the trainer in front of me. And I get my cardio by going on the elliptical. I have a Nordic Track Freestrider Trainer FS5i, and it syncs with my with the headset, with the Quest 3. And as I am on the elliptical, I am propelled through different immersive maps such as Paris or Venice, or my current favorite one, which is a Jurassic Park experience. And then I'm back to FitXR for a much needed cool down. The whole thing is so wonderful, and I'm very lucky to have this as an option for my workout. And I would recommend, if you are looking for any kind of training in your house, I don't have to go to a gym, I don't have to go anywhere. I just train in VR. Now, I have also been fooling around with some other experiences. Medieval Dynasty on the flat screen can be made VR with a UEVR injector, but I will talk more about this later. So this has been AprilPvd in VR. You can write me at controlaltwow@gmail.com. My show notes are at controlaltwow.com. I hope you enjoy this new format. I am going to be focusing more on VR and other topics pertaining to me and my retirement journey and living single, sober, and small. Bye for now.